All right, welcome to the first of a set of mobility sessions that are specifically targeted at improving your range of motion through stretching routines. And really when it comes down to it, to really improve your flexibility, your ability to meet end ranges of motion, you kind of have to just spend time in different positions to challenge the length of your muscles and your ligaments and your tendons, okay? So this first routine is a 33-minute routine. This video is not a follow along. I'm just going to demonstrate the different stretches that you're going to do. In a later video, I'll do the entire routine to do a follow along. And so if you don't feel like keeping a stopwatch next to you or having to keep track of the time, you just follow along with me and I'll give you cues and tell you what to do as we go, okay? But for this first lower body routine, this is great for opening up the entire lower body, working on the front side, the calves, the hamstrings, and even into the glutes a bit. Okay, so this is a set of 6 different exercises. You'll do 3 sets of 1 minute on every single exercise. Okay, and if you have 1 on each side, then you'll do 3 sets of 1 minute each side, and you'll switch back and forth between sides on every single stretch, okay? So let's jump into this. This first stretch is a banded hamstring stretch. To do this the best, you don't want to be standing. The best hamstring stretches are ones where you're in passive position when you're lying down on the floor. So this first one is a banded hamstring stretch. So you're gonna have a band, you're gonna lock your knee, and then you're gonna use your hands to pull it up and relax. Okay, you hold this for 1 minute. Okay, you'll get a better stretch here in this portion of the hamstring if you start with a straight leg and then you pull it up. So you're just holding it for 1 minute. As you feel like the stretch is getting less, then you'll just pull with your arms and pull a little bit further. Okay, the main key here is to breathe deep breaths through your nose. You want diaphragmatic breathing. You want to feel the expansion of your belly and not in your chest, okay? So I'm just using my hands to keep pressure here. After I finish 1 minute, then I'll switch to the other side, bring the leg down, straighten it out, and then pull it up. And get 1 minute here. So after I finish 1 minute, then I start set number 2. I'll do 1 minute on the other side, straighten it out, come up. Okay, think about that bottom leg as well. Keep that bottom leg straight and keep the heel and the knee pressed down into the floor, okay? And my head is just relaxed back. My body's totally relaxed. Really, my hands are the only thing doing any work because I have to hold the band. Other than that, I'm just passively sitting in this stretch position, okay? That's stretch number 1, okay? After that, I really don't need the band anymore. What I'll do now is I'm going to just find a wall, and I'm using my closet here just to show that you can do this at home, you can do it anywhere, okay? So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to be standing a couple steps away from the wall or whatever vertical surface you're going to be doing this against. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to push my foot as flat against that wall as I can. Notice my back leg is bent. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to straighten that back leg and lean, push, and even extend on my toes to push. And this is stretching the gastrocnemius, that big surface muscle you see in your calf. Okay, that's the defining muscle that you see there in your calf muscle. You'll hold this for 1 minute. After you finish that, you'll reset. Really bend that back knee to get as flat as you can. And then push into that. You're stretching 1 minute on the opposite side, okay? You'll do 3 sets of 1 minute. After you finish this, now we're gonna get into a soleus stretch. That's a deep muscle that's underneath that calf muscle. You can see that's the other calf muscle. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna be just about a 1 foot distance, okay? 1 length of your foot away from the wall. And then I'm just gonna get in this deep lunge position. I'm gonna push my knee into the wall, okay? I want my heel to be down, okay? And so I'm just holding this stretch. If I'm not feeling much of a stretch, then I can scoot my foot slightly further away. But I want to sit my hips down into this I'm putting pressure into this, pushing my knee into the wall. I want even pressure through my foot. If you feel all the pressure coming through on your toes, then you're a little bit too far forward. You need to sit your hips down a little bit back. It's kind of a double whammy. It's a it's a bonus stretch because you're getting a little bit of a hip stretch, but as well as stretching this soleus, this postural muscle in your calf. Okay, you'll do 1 minute on each leg for that. That finishes the calf stretches, okay? So after we finish the calf stretches, 3 sets of 1 minute on each side, then you'll just lie down on the floor. Then we're getting this lying glute IT band stretch. So we're gonna be stretching this high glute muscle, these smaller muscles at the top of the glutes, not the glute maximus, but it's more of the glute minimus, glute medius here. So I'm gonna put one ankle on top of the opposite knee. And I'm going to lift up, keeping my lower back and my hips on the floor, grab through, grab my knee or my shin, and then I'm just gonna kind of shrug my shoulders to pull my knee and my leg closer to myself, okay? And you can play with this, you can kind of change the angle a little bit. You can even try to get a little assistance here and keep one hand on the shin, pulling at the ankle, and the other one pulling here at the knee to get a little bit more of a stretch. If you're not feeling much of a stretch here, then your mobility is great, but still just get some time hanging out here. This is a great way to get a little bit of lower back relief, but also stretch along this outer portion of the leg to mobilize that portion there. So you get 3 sets, 1 minute on each side. So you finish 1 minute and then you just switch. The key thing is you want to keep your lower back on the floor. If you've lifted your lower back off the floor, then you're changing the stretch. We want to keep it just in the glute and the IT band along that outside part of the thigh. Okay? After you finish this, 3 sets of 1 minute on each side. Now we're going to change to go right into the wall. I'm going to put my hip against the wall here. And this is going to stretch our groin. We've stretched the outside part of the thigh. Now we're going to go on the inside. Okay? So my hip is against the wall. I'm going to lay back. Now my butt is almost against the wall. Now that I'm here in this position, I can use my hands to brace on the outside of my thighs, but I'm going to let my legs drop out here. Let gravity do the work. And then just let this sit here and stretch the inside, the adductors, the groin, the inside portion of the thigh. Okay? You can use your hands to kind of encourage a little bit further movement. You're sitting in this for 3 sets of 1 minute. So you do 1 minute, deep breathing through the nose again. When you take a break, you'll take a 10-15 second break, and then you'll come into that stretch again, 1 minute. Okay? Once you finish 3 sets of 1 minute, then you're going to come out of this. So I'll just roll to the side. After I get that, now I'm going to get into this anterior chain stretch, my hip flexors, my rectus femoris, my quads. Okay, so I'm going to get into this position against the wall where I'm going to push my knee all the way against the corner of a wall. If you need to keep a pillow or an ab mat or something underneath, or a yoga mat, that's great to give yourself a little pad. And this is a progression. I'm pushing my hip down, squeezing my glute here. If this doesn't feel like any kind of a stretch, then I'll bring my foot up. And now I'm here. I'm still keeping my hand on the ground and elbow on the knee, and really just pressing my hips down and forward. This is stretching the hip flexor, okay? And then step 3, if you're ready or if you can, then you'll push your hips back to get your butt closer to your heel and then come up straight without bending the back, okay? So a quick side view of this. I'll give you a side view here where I have this nice and close. Okay, I'm right here, pushing down here. And as I'm ready, I'll come up a little taller, and if I can push my glute back and then come up, now I'm stretching a lot more down deeper into the thigh, okay? So you'll do 3 sets of 1 minute on each side of this. And this is a full stretch routine. going from the hamstring to the calf, to the front side, and hitting on both lateral medial sides of the thigh. So you get full opening up of the hips and also working on the mobility at the ankle with the calf stretches, okay? It's a great stretch routine to do, just 33 minutes. It gives you time to open up the full lower body and be good to go for the next training session.